Quarter number 2 starts now. If you're watching this, you've already switched to the new classroom and you're getting ready to start quarter number 2. Quarter number 1 is done. It's in the books. Grades are in stone. Remember, you need 4 quarters averaging 65 or better in order to get your credits for this course. And then don't forget labs. We did about 600 lab minutes this quarter. Okay, if you've got marks for every lab on the sheet, you've got 600 minutes. You're actually halfway to the minimum needed to take the Regents exam. All right, some of you really need to get going with make sure you turn in labs. But anyway, let's do this first bell ringer of the second quarter, and let's talk about smallpox. Da 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 do 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 do. Da 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 do do. All right. Da 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 do do do. Hey now. Da 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 do do. Mr. Kovacs class. It's really fun. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class. It's interesting too. It's Mr. Kovacs class. And he's super cool. It's Mr. Kovacs class. Smallpox, it's a viral infection. Viral infection. It's pretty nasty. Person is suffering from smallpox. Right, day 1, the pox, right, the little bumps start to show up. Day 4, you've got ever increasing size. By day 10, they swell up and they're blistering. The day 14, you've got covered in these pox, right? Smallpox, terrible disease, and killed many people. It was especially dangerous being that it's Native American Cultural Awareness Month, right? November, especially deadly amongst Native Americans. That one of the things we know is that the first contact between Europeans and natives brought many things, including smallpox disease, right? Certainly the natives had diseases too that were introduced to Europeans, but none was deadly as smallpox. And smallpox roughly killed about 95% of all the people living in the Americas during the 14th, 15th, 16th century, right? So it kind of makes sense that by the time pilgrims landed in, let's say in New England, they were like, there's all this cleared land, but there's no people here, right? That's because so much of the native population was decimated by smallpox. Smallpox. I don't know how much truth there is. There's legend, of course, that some of the smallpox infections were done on purpose by giving out smallpox infected blankets to natives. There doesn't seem to be that much documented cases of that, so I don't know how true that is, but it would be an effective way of biological warfare, right, to purposely distribute a disease like smallpox. Smallpox. This is the last person to ever die of smallpox. Okay? Janet Parker. Why is that? Because of the vaccines and the vaccination program that was taken on worldwide to eradicate, get rid of this terrible disease. If you know anybody who's over the age of 50 and they look at their right or left shoulder, you'll probably see this scar right here. That scar is the scar left over from the smallpox vaccine. Right? I have one. But none of you guys have one because we stopped giving out the smallpox vaccine because the vaccine worked, right? It eliminated smallpox. The vaccine was given with this vaccine gun, right? And you would get a disabled version of the smallpox, and that would teach your B cells how to make antibodies so that if you ever saw it again, you'd be able to fight it. Enough people have been given the vaccination that smallpox is gone. It doesn't exist anymore, right? And all vaccinations work this way, where you give somebody a neutered or a less effective or dead version of the virus. Just make sure that the antigens are present, and then their B cells will make antibodies based on those antigens. And then if it ever shows up, you won't get sick. Smallpox.